Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. We have a special guest with us today on the line. He is the former governor of Minnesota, former mayor, and a former Navy SEAL, and he's now the host of The World, according to Jesse on RT. His latest book is Jesse Ventura's Marijuana Manifesto. It's now out in paperback. Please welcome our guest, Jesse Ventura. Hey, Jesse.
Hi, Jimmy. Great to be here today.
Hey, tell me about the book and what made you write it and what's in it.
Well, it's a book where we did the research and we really wanted to give an honest book to the people of the United States of America on cannabis or marijuana. You know, they prefer to use the term cannabis now, and so I'll refer to it as cannabis. But it's a new industry that is just now being legalized, and it has the potential of being a $45 billion industry, American-grown, American-used, American jobs, nothing outside the United States of America. And when we're looking, I mean, the state of Colorado now, since they lifted prohibition of cannabis, has added 18,000, let me repeat that, 18,000 new jobs in the state of Colorado. And so I wanted to really try to educate the public that this is a remarkable plant. In fact, I made the statement when I spoke at the Jacob Javits Center a year ago at the convention, the National Cannabis Convention. I said, in my opinion, the people that outlawed this plant, they should be the ones being put in jail. Because this plant is so remarkable, and I'll just give you my personal end of it. Cannabis saved my life.
How so?
Not me directly, but someone very close to me developed an epileptic seizure condition. And this person, if you've ever dealt with seizures, you know how helpless you are. You have to just ride them out. I don't have it, but you have to ride them out, make sure the person keeps breathing, comfort them until the seizure subsides. And sometimes they can go for seconds or they can go for 15 minutes, who knows. And this person went to regular doctors and was given 4 different pharmaceutical medicines, one after the other after the other. None of them worked. In fact, many of them had bad side effects. In desperation, we took the person to Colorado. It started when the person got there, even had a seizure the night before in the hotel. And when the person got there, it started with 3 drops under the tongue of a clear liquid. Well, now the person's got it pill form, and medical marijuana is now legal in Minnesota. And so this person takes 1 pill in the morning, 1 at night. That was 3 or 4 years ago, and this person has been completely seizure-free from being able to use cannabis. So when I tell you it saved my life, it did, because my life as I knew it was gone. And if, like I said, if you've ever dealt with seizures, even if you're not the one getting them, it disrupts and can destroy multiple lives.
Now, Jesse, this is another situation where the legislature is way behind the people. So the people have been out in front on legalizing medical marijuana and just recreational marijuana. Why do you?
Right. Let's throw that out, Jimmy, for a second. One of my best friends is Tommy Chong.
Okay.
And who the hell knows more about cannabis than Tommy Chong?
Right.
And Tommy has said clearly there should be no difference between, they should not be making medical marijuana and so-called recreational marijuana. As Tommy says, the entire plant is medical. Those that smoke it for the euphoric feeling or to get high, they're doing it for mental health.
Oh, I never looked at it like that. Yes, you're right.
Absolutely. That's for mental health, to keep you. This world's crazy enough that we live in. I would rather have people smoking pot than taking Prozac.
Yes, I would too, right? There's never...
And by the way, here's FYI for you. Do you know that you get Prozac on a daily basis?
In your water? In your drinking water?
Absolutely. Fluoride is the major ingredient of Prozac.
That's
and do you know who first thought of putting fluoride in water? You know, they tell us it's for our teeth and all that. Well, isn't that your parents' job?
Right.
Why do you need the government putting chemicals in your water to take care of your teeth, supposedly? No, it started with the Nazis. The Nazis were the first ones to put fluoride in water because it's Prozac, and what does Prozac do? Dumbs you down and makes you, That's why I'm like I am. Every house I've had, I haven't had city water. I've had my own well.
Really?
Yeah, not by choice. It just happened that way. And then I learned about this fluoride thing about 10, 12 years ago. And I thought, wow, I never lived in a house where I got city water. So no wonder I'm a troublemaker for the government, because I'm not all dumbed down with Prozac.
Wow. So that's, I had no idea about that. So let me just ask you one more time. Why do you think the legislature is so far behind the people when it comes to marijuana?
Well, because, again, follow the money. Anytime you're dealing with anything dealing with government, money will be what it doesn't. Money will legalize cannabis just as money kept cannabis illegal. You got the tobacco industry, the alcohol industry, and big pharma who do not want cannabis legal. Why? Simple. Follow the money. Technically, if they legalize it across the board, poor people could then use it for free, because why? They could grow it in their backyard.
Oh, so again, yeah. So that's what I've always.
And so then there'd be no taxes collected on it, because if you grew it, like my mother, when I grew up in the heart of the city of Minneapolis when I was a kid, every year my mom in our small little backyard had a tomato patch, where she'd grow fresh tomatoes and we'd eat tomatoes all summer grown in the backyard. Well, you could do the same thing with a cannabis plant, and therefore you wouldn't have to buy it commercially. Poor people could use it as freely as they wanted to if they grew it on their own. And that's the reason they won't. The government, hey, if the government could charge you for the air you breathe, they would tax you for that if they could. If they could put a meter on it.
Yes. Yep. I'm with you on that. But so again, it's exactly, I remember Patrick Kennedy was going around a few years ago against him. He was in rehab and drug addict, and he was coming out and he was advocating against medical marijuana, and it was all because we're afraid for the kids. And then, of course, it turns out he's got ties to the pharmaceutical industries, of course, right? So of course. And now
not only that, but come on, nobody's saying you'll give it to kids. And let's face it, if kids want cannabis, they can get it.
I know. I
know that's absurd.
They can't.
Now, you treat it like you do alcohol. Treat it like you do tobacco. That's all you got to do. Treat it like adults. And it's, how you stop kids from using cannabis? It's called parenting.
Yeah.
It's a new concept. It's called parenting. Do your job as a parent. Many children have alcohol problems. Many children now have opiate problems because they've stolen pills out of the cabinet at home.
Yep.
If you want to look at a problem, look at the opiate problem. And isn't that interesting, Jimmy, that for years and years they told us cannabis was a stepping stone to heroin, when the reality is it's not. It gets you off it.
Yes.
Every state where they've legalized cannabis, the opiate use has dropped. And those are statistics that can't be argued.
Also, the only studies they've done, have you seen any studies done on traffic accidents related to marijuana?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen that at all. Now, again, people shouldn't drive necessarily if they're high, just as you shouldn't take any other medication that gives you warning on operating equipment or things of that nature. But again, you live in a supposed free society. And in a free society, you make choices. And if you make the wrong choice and pay the price, well, then that's what you have to agree that's what it's going to be.
Well, that's fantastic. I haven't read that book. I'm going to check it out. So,
please do. It's an amazing book. We go into the history, why it got outlawed. William Randolph Hearst, he owned thousands of acres of timberland, and he didn't want cannabis or hemp used to make paper. Here's your final argument, Jimmy, then we'll change subjects. Your final argument. the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and Betsy Ross's flag are all made out of cannabis.
That's amazing, right? And of course, people don't know the history. The history was William Randolph Hearst owned a bunch of newspapers and paper factories, and so hemp would have really undercut his profit margin. And so,
he wanted to sell his lumber. And remember, a tree grows a foot a year. Cannabis grows 15 feet a year.
And did he not plant stories in his newspapers that would scare people about crazy Mexicans smoking marijuana and then killing people?
Absolutely, and not only that, he was the money behind Reefer Madness.
Oh, really? He was that guy too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That goofy film that you look at it and you burst out laughing.
Yeah, okay. Well, that is the final argument. Great. Okay, everybody check out Jesse's book, Jesse Ventura's Marijuana Manifesto. Our next live Jimmy Dore show is July 1st in Portland, Oregon. There's a link for tickets for all of our live shows right there. And if you can remember, please take a moment to make sure you're subscribed to the show. It only takes a second. You probably think you're subscribed, but you probably aren't. Just make sure you're subscribed. Click that bell so they send you a notice when we drop a video. Otherwise, they won't tell you. And if you become a premium member or a Patreon, we give you hours of bonus material every week. And we do a live chat every Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time where you can ask us questions and we'll answer them. Plus, we're on Steam It. We're steaming it right now.